So Pesticide Free Edmonton is a grassroots, volunteer-run group that lobbies for pesticide reduction in Edmonton. And I'm going to start out with just a little bit of some information that's just come out actually in the last few weeks. So if you don't know, Monsanto produces Roundup, the most widely used herbicide in the world. And Monsanto also produces the genetically modified organisms which are designed to tolerate it. The use of this herbicide has increased dramatically. And actually I was just reading that in this part of the world, this Western Canada, it's tripled between 2005 and 2011. Just that one herbicide. The Monsanto reps have publicly stated that they intend to control the global food supply. So even if you don't think this herbicide is an issue, you should be concerned about that. The active ingredient in Roundup is glyphosate, which is one of the many reasons which has just been announced as a probable carcinogen by the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization is the most widely respected organization for health in the world. Monsanto probably knew all along that this was linked to cancer. A scientist just uncovered some information that shows that they probably knew this all along and suppressed this information. We also use this herbicide in our city. Your neighbor can be using this in their yard, and it's certainly in your food like never before. The current rates for cancer in Canada right now are 45% of all men and 41% of all women will develop cancer in their lifetime. And I've been hearing from people who work with cancer patients, they expect that number to go up. The Canadian Foundation for Gastrointestinal Health states on their webpage that 20 million Canadians are diagnosed with gastrointestinal illnesses. 20 out of 35. This number has doubled in the last 10 years. Could it be something that we're eating? Maybe. The correlation of things is exactly how we start looking for a cause to our problems. It should not be ignored. These are only two examples of health concerns that are likely related and have a large impact on our lives and on our economy. Also, for the first time in history, you can get your levels of glyphosate tested in Canada, which has never happened before, and this is done by the work of activists. If you're interested in having this done, please come and see me. But I'm not going to discuss these things so much today. Instead, I'm going to talk about a local issue which affects us right in our own neighborhood, in the surrounding area here. This is also a national issue because it reflects how our regulatory bodies are not working for us. Both the Edmonton Journal and CTV have been doing segments on this issue, but I bet many of you haven't heard about this story yet. Edmonton is the last municipality in Canada to use a very persistent and potent neurotoxin to kill mosquito larvae. Many of us don't like mosquitoes much, so each year the city talks about what they do and we don't question it. It doesn't concern us. We just don't like mosquitoes. But we don't think about what else the city could be using. Last year, the registration of this very persistent neurotoxin was to expire. Winnipeg was the only other municipality still using it, and we bought their reserves. They're not using it anymore. Why did we stockpile it? Health Canada then re-registered it for our city's use. Why? Isn't our government supposed to evaluate products before registering them? Many municipalities had concerns about the toxicity of this insecticide and stopped using it many years ago. Winnipeg city entomologist also stated that since Dursban kills the predators to mosquitoes, the first thing that comes back is, guess what? Mosquitoes. Dow's label for Dursban states that this product is not to be used in or around homes or other residential areas such as parks, school grounds, and playing fields. I asked the pest control department about where they spray this, and they said they couldn't tell me this because of privacy issues. So I went to the privacy commissioner, and after about 8 months, I finally got the information about where our city sprays this. Our city sprays this on golf courses. It sprays it in parks, like Terwilliger Park. They're not following the label. Why do they try to keep this from us, like from public knowledge? Why are they not telling us today even where they're spraying it this year? Trying to find that information. This department is still not disclosing where they're spraying it. This insecticide is found in Arctic ice dating back to 1972. This means it can move long distances and it persists for long periods of time, decades even. This insecticide is known for its serious harm to the human nervous system and is associated with lower IQ and poor cognitive functioning in children. There are piles, literally piles of academic research showing how horrible this insecticide is, and it appears that our city does not even follow regulations of an application for a restricted product. Alberta Environment has refused to investigate this. Health Canada only seems concerned about whether Terwilliger Park is a park. At least Winnipeg stopped using this within city limits in 2005. Our city has stated back in 2011 that they would stop using this. I don't expect them to quit for a long time. Dow Chemical was sued $2 million in New York State for stating this specific pesticide is safe and fined $732,000 for withholding 249 poisoning reports. In the US, this insecticide accounted for 7,000 unintentional pesticide exposures reported in 1996. One lawsuit, one of many, paid out $23.5 million to one family. The city gives people in outlying areas the ability to opt out of being sprayed over their property. If they ever can get a hold of this form, it's very difficult. Attached to this form is a letter in which they state that Health Canada states this insecticide is safe. Dow Chemical was sued for saying that. In a meeting with this department, they admitted that this is used for nuisance mosquitoes and it is not sprayed to control West Nile. Last year, Edmonton sprayed this in Sturgeon County without their permission. This year, the county discussed whether or not they will allow the city to spray. Edmonton provided a letter in which they stated this was used to control West Nile. This was 2 weeks after the meeting I had with them, where they said it was used for nuisance mosquitoes. Councillors were concerned about West Nile, and so therefore they voted to allow the city to spray this in their county. They have been misled. Check out how many cases of West Nile we've had in the last 10 years and compare that to other places around this province that don't use this chemical. So what we have is a department that sprays this without regard, without a regulatory body watching over them, without the consent or knowledge of the public, and with several disturbing inconsistencies. This insecticide persists, moves long distances, bioaccumulates, and is very toxic to us, to our children, and to our environment. People here in surrounding areas do not even have the opportunity to protect themselves. And Dow's data sheets the half-life in water where this is applied is 72 days, but in colder temperatures like ours, it can persist up to years. How many people in this city have neurological harm? Symptoms of exposure include headaches and mimics the flu. It is likely that exposure has happened many times and has not been correlated. Species-specific products exist. Is this okay with you?
No!
I guarantee that nothing will happen without your pressure on our government. This should awaken you to the fact that our regulatory bodies are not operating as they should. Industry provides studies to register pesticides. We have many problems that I do not have the time to go into right now. So please come and see me and what you can do. At least call our mayor. Pick up a brochure and get involved. This is your city, province, and country, and it is up to you to work with groups like ours to change a broken system. Believe me, the system is broken, and it will only deteriorate further without your input. We are what drives the wheel. Make the choice today to get involved. Thank you.